Okay, welcome back. So now that we have updated the Maven settings, let's go ahead and make the code changes on our DevOps develop branch. We are not going to create a feature branch because this change is pretty trivial, which basically just includes changes to the POM XML. So let's go ahead, and I'm in STS right here. I already have the POM XML open. Let's double check um, that we are on the develop branch, which I am. Um, we can also verify that by going to the branch here. Let's make sure I don't have any changes. And let's make sure we pull the latest from develop before we actually make any changes. So we are up to date. So let's go ahead and look at our POM XML changes. So I have already listed down the changes that need to be done. Like I mentioned earlier, we are going to use Maven Surefire plugin, and then we already have JCoco, which is ECLMA for code coverage, and we are going to use the settings that Sonar recommends for the integration with the Sonar with Maven, right? So the first thing is we're going to use let's go ahead and actually add the plugin, which is a couple of plugins. One is for the Surefire, and the second one is for the JCoco. So I'm going to copy those. Let's head over to our plugin section here, and let's add those two in here. And I'm going to indent them so that they go along with the rest of the plugins. Okay, and we're going to use the properties as versions, right? So that in the future, if we need to change any of the properties. So let's go ahead and add those down here in our properties section. And we are all set, right? So pretty straightforward changes. We added the two properties for the versions of Maven Surefire and the JCoco, and we do have added the properties down here. It does say that there's a newer one, 2.18.1. So let's actually go ahead and grab those. Make sure we have the latest one. Evaluates to 2.18.1. Overriding manage version, which is fine. So let's go ahead and actually leave it at 2.17 because I would like to keep it at that for now. And we're not worried about any of the other changes. So we have already made the changes to our Maven settings.xml that we did earlier on. And that's for the user, right? So we are not actually setting up the Sonar integration for the Jenkins user yet. We're going to take a look at that in a minute, right? So I've done this. Let me go ahead and do Maven update so that I get the latest dependencies and plugins, right? So it's going to do the update on the Maven project. So once this is done, we can do a couple of things. I can head over to my terminal here. Let's go ahead and do the clear. And I can do, let me just go ahead and do Maven clean. Make sure there's nothing. And let me also do clean and package. So it has got the JCoco stuff in there. I downloaded the plugin. I want to make sure that there's no issues with the plugin and all the tests and everything passes, right? Okay, so the build was successful. So now you can actually run the Sonar because I already set it up with my Maven profile. Let me go ahead and run the Sonar and let's see what this does. So it's going to load all of the Sonar dependencies and the rules, and it's going to run the Sonar code coverage or code quality integration, and it's going to publish that to the SonarQube, right? So you see here that it says the analysis was successful, and you can browse to localhost 9000 dashboard, right? I don't need to do that. Let's actually head over to my instance of SonarQube here. Let me just go, and there you go, right? So it actually pushed the metrics, and you see that it's actually aggregated the data from my project and has notified that the quality for my code is passed based on the industry rules, right? And it's also showing you the coverage, any code duplications, any code smells, any bugs, and any vulnerabilities, right? So you can actually look at the individual metrics in here, and it will show, if I look at the tree or the tree map, it does show that, okay, my web is covered, that's the one in green, the DevOps folder is not, right? But at a high level, we do not have any bugs in our code, right? And we do not have any technical debt. We do not have any code smells, right? We do have 2 unit tests. We do not have any duplication. So basically, it analyzed the code, and it's covering the metrics, collecting the metrics, analyzing the metrics, and looking at some of the industry rules. So we have made the changes on the DevOps project, and we have integrated it with SonarQube. In the next section, we're going to go ahead and commit the code from the develop, create the release branch, and make sure we can build the project using the release branch. And then we are going to integrate SonarQube with our Jenkins.